moment, just tuning up everything to make sure that I'm actually live and that you can see me. And obviously, as always, if you can see me, say hello and welcome, 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 beautiful one. Okay, all right. Oh, I just can't. All right, beautiful ones. Okay. All right, so I just wanted to come on here today, very, very impromptu, and I hope that you had a beautiful weekend. Please share with me how your entire week has been and how your weekend has been with the full moon. I went to a beautiful resort with my husband's family, and so we've been out in the nature. We've been really we've been just quietly celebrating my husband's birthday as well. So it's been a wonderful weekend. So tell me, how has your weekend been? And today I just want to jump on here really, really, really quickly to talk a little bit about, I don't know how long I'll go, but I just wanted to share a little bit about something that I am feeling in the energy, which is truly, hello, April, hello. I wanted to speak about something about, I titled this as if you have ever been hurt and you don't want to put yourself out there again because you've been hurt before, I want you to listen to this. I want you to tune into this transmission. In any way that you're doing this, whether it's in your business, whether it is in your relationships, it is all going to fall into place for you, okay? So I talk a lot about how I used to come from a place where I was truly a chronic people pleaser. I was truly a chronic people pleaser, and so much of myself is about how I was reflected in the eyes of another. And so much of that is about, April, I see you, my love, I'm holding you. When I am who I am, when who I am is dependent on how they respond to me, it tends to become very wobbly very fast, right? We tend to start to say, oh, my day is gone, and it's gone bad already because my boss doesn't like what I did, or my husband woke up on the wrong side of the bed and tells me that I've done everything wrong, or he's angry and upset, and now my day has gone awry because nothing seems to be working around me. But I didn't do anything actually to feel bad, but I made it about me, right? And so it is so interesting because I had this long history of doing this. And so for the longest time, I actually, hello, beautiful Dunya. For the longest time, I actually built a fortress. And if this is you, please, this is a safe space and a soft space to land. So allow yourself to also acknowledge that as well. And I think there's a lot of power in sharing that in words. And so building that fortress around myself so that I could be in control of my emotions. And I was kind of reflecting on that today and last night, where, I was looking back on all the literature and movies that I resonated so deeply with. I don't know if you've seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I could absolutely 100% relate to the character Jim Carrey played. If you've seen the movie Her, I could 100% relate to the character that Joaquin Phoenix played in the film as well. And if you've read any Haruki Murakami novels, I can 100% relate to the main characters, or like the characters who would just have this mundane life, like every day is the same. and then they would cook spaghetti at home, and then they would eat the spaghetti on their own, and then they would just sit there and read their books or listen to jazz and then call it a day. That was me. And that was the fortress I built. And to be frank, I was pretty proud of it, to be honest. I was like, I'm fine with living alone. Like, I don't need any emotional attachments to anyone. And also, this will prevent me from being hurt again. And so I lived a long time like this. I lived a couple of years alone and in celibacy, and I never put my heart out there because I just felt like it wasn't going to do me any good to do it, because I would end up getting hurt anyway. That was the belief that was running in my head. And for so long, I didn't chase after my dreams either, and I just gave up on them. I just really did. I just did what I needed to do at work and come home and cook dinner and end the day, and that was it. That was my entire life. To a point where I started to feel something in me when I felt that, oh, maybe I can try this. Maybe I could just put this out there and see. Right, April? Yeah, tell me your story if you don't mind. I'd love to hear that as well. You can DM me or just share it here as well. It's going to be absolutely safe, and whatever that feels comfortable for you, of course. I felt like, dreaming wasn't for me. And it's so interesting because when I was much younger, I was a dreamer. Like, I absolutely dreamed. Like, I dreamt of so many things. And because, oh my goodness, something came through. Because of that moment, actually, that I never really shared a lot about this was, I think I was about 15 or 14 years old, and I had this moment that I knew I was going to be writing books, I will be living in a particular city, and I will be here. And that city was actually London. And I remember that because I set foot for the first time. I'm originally from Malaysia. I'm currently living in Edinburgh, by the way, just so you know. I remember setting foot into London for a holiday with my family. And I just knew in that instant, I was like, I know I'm going to be doing great things here. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I truly believe everything happens for us. It didn't happen. My dreams were shattered. And it was a huge dream. And at that time, I don't think I ever wanted anything so much than that, really. And so when I finally, moved out of the UK, because I was studying in Manchester at that time, and, after 3 years, the plan was to stay on, but it didn't happen. It couldn't happen. And on top of that, I wasn't really in a position where I could even find a job in London. I ended up heading back home. I ended up flying back home. And I was absolutely shattered. Absolutely shattered. Like, dreams were gone. I was a total mess. I broke up with my boyfriend at that time. And I was constantly just living alone. And I was just deteriorating. Like, I was so aimless that I didn't know anything else but to control and fixate on my body at that time. And so some of you probably know this story. I had anorexia for about 10 years of my life, and that was the beginning of that eating disorder, the development of that eating disorder. And so when dreams began to die, a tiny part of me died too. Oh, that little sad face. Thank you. All is well. It's I truly believe that it all happened for me to be where I am right now. And the reason I wanted to come on here, it must be something in the air, is 10-10, and everything about 10-10 is like, do we need to really be 10 out of 10 to be living truly a fulfilling life? No, not at all. That's really what I wanted to share today, because you know what? Coming from a place where I wanted to be perfect in every sense for other people, I truly lost who I was. Like, I truly lost any sense of who I was at the time. And, you know, looking back now, I had that chance, that moment when everything seemed to come together. Not being able to live in London, I ended up having I started to cultivate this belief that I need to try really hard, that I need to work really, really hard in order to be able to be something. And I needed to shed that completely to be where I am today, here, sitting here talking to you. That took me to a certain distance. It did. I'm not going to say it didn't. You know, there is a reason why the hustle culture is so big. There is a reason why we find it so hard to release the masculine energy of do. Because it does work. There is a reason why we find it so hard to detach from the identity of the mind. So many of us go around our lives thinking that we are the mind. We think we are the thoughts. We think, and then we think we are. But actually, what truly is us is we are an eternal soul. We are in an eternal soul that is inhabiting a body, and we have a mind. That's what we truly are. Hello, Embodied Soul Lab. Welcome. Oh my goodness, you all have to say hello because I can't really see you until it's a little too late. And obviously, you know, if this is your first time, please let me know what's your name, and I would just like to say hello as well. Okay, so I just want to share that because really, so many of us allow our dreams, we just watch our dreams die because we are so afraid of getting hurt again. We're so afraid of getting disappointed again. And you know, the interesting thing is disappointment is actually a feminine energy. Hurt is a feminine energy. And that is probably why so many of us kind of disassociate from the feminine energies, because we think that the feminine energy is just that. But when we are able to walk side by side with our disappointment, with our hurt, we can start to alchemize that. We can start to really alchemize those feelings into something that bears higher vibrational frequency. And those higher vibrational frequency will steer us into creating alignment in our lives. So what I really want to share is that I was looking back on this, and it's funny because I was sitting there and I was thinking, I've come this far in my life, and there will still be moments when I feel like I'm in the void, like I don't know what I'm doing, and I feel like things are falling apart and maybe it won't even work. Then I will always look back, when are those moments when things worked? What was I doing then? And this is the consciousness you want to cultivate, so that you know and you're aware that actually things work in cycles. There is beauty in all those moments that we think is going to be harmful for us. And it is because we think that it's such a scary place that we don't go there, that we never we never look further than what we are seeing right now, which is all the blocks and all the little hurdles, right? We think that that's not meant to be because we can see all these things around us, but actually they are here to tell us that this is time. This is the time for you to choose. Do you want to alchemize this time around, or should I come back another time? That's all there is to life. It really is, you know, and I find so much beauty in it right now because when you can see it, you can quickly alchemize it. You don't have to stew and sit in that rock bottom, or even hit rock bottom for that matter, for things to actually happen, for things to actually galvanize you to move forward. This is how powerful it is when you have that consciousness, right? So for me, being able to observe, to watch, to see what happened back then actually taught me a lot. When I wasn't consciously doing it, I was actually just surrendering, you know, when things happen for me. Certain things that I remember and I mark as a milestone, I got a literary agent in London to pick up my novel at that time. And at the same time, in the same year, I actually got a job offer to work in Hong Kong. It was from the place that I dreamt of working for the longest time. Everything was falling in place for me. I was moving out of Malaysia, which was what I really wanted to do for the longest time as well. Everything was falling in line with me. But do you know how that happened? What happened before that was actually I was going through a major heartbreak, like the biggest heartbreak ever. Like I had this relationship with this man that was highly abusive. It was mentally abusive. It was not physically abusive. Obviously, I would have to put it out there, but I was just in a very gaslit environment in that experience, and also because I was mothering him in a way that I don't have to look at my own problems, at my own life. I hung my entire life and my energy on this person, and he was alcoholic, right? So it was just not a healthy relationship, let's just put it that way. And long story short, he kind of disappeared. So he disappeared, cut off all communications, no idea where he went, don't know. And I was like this, like deeply in love and like completely shattered again in that moment. Like I put my heart out there and this happened, right? And so I closed myself off. I didn't want to have anything to do with anyone, no relationships whatsoever. And all I did was I focused on what I need to create in my work, and also tending to my heartbreak at the time. And I wrote this novel based on that as well, and I started to pitch that out to the world, and I got the literary agent. And I think the moment that sealed the deal, the moment that happened, was actually when I told myself that it doesn't matter what the outcome is, I'm just gonna do it. It doesn't matter whether I get a yes or a no, I'm just going to keep doing it. And that was the energy. I was in total surrender. All I knew was that I need to keep the movement going. So in that sense, I was doing it unconsciously because I was just in that space where I was like, I just need to keep going. I need to keep doing. And so it happened. I got what I wanted. And obviously you all know, or you don't know, maybe you don't know, I eventually met Tea, and the spirit of Tea called me into another realm, and I forwent all of the things that I cultivated, that I possessed in Hong Kong, and I left. I flew off to Edinburgh and started my tea business, as we call it today. But it's gone so much further than that. You know, I'm able to work with women and work with them in their healing, to bring them back into their vortex of stillness, to cultivate the sense of ceremony in their lives, so much more, so much more. But when I go through my own voids, I always go back to that moment when I realize that I need to really surrender. I need to really be in a place where I have to embody my own medicine. And that means I go first. I still go first. I'm not going to cut myself off because I'm afraid that I will be disappointed again, or that I will be hurt again, because I chose to live a life that is on purpose. And if we are fully integrated, we actually will know this deeply in our bones and every fiber of our being, because our reason of being here, and this is the one thing I'm so passionate about, is that we're here to become, to remember our cosmic magnificence. I call it cosmic magnificence because that's truly what we are. We are energy. And so it's like today I was talking to my client, I said, we are always an energetic match to the giver and the receiver in the other person. Always. 100%. The person who wants to take is a person who's really bad at giving and receiving. We don't need to take. We just have to learn the art of giving and receiving, giving and receiving, giving and receiving. And also understand that the giving comes from the heart and the receiving goes into the heart. And the giving can be from someone else and then you give it to another person. It doesn't mean that you owe them something. This is so important and such a bigger scale of teaching that I will have to spend another time talking about. But what I'm going to share and just stick to today is that if you feel that you can't seem to venture out to play at the scale that you truly are, which is cosmic and limitless, really tap in and ask yourself what memory is surfacing for you when you're afraid. What memory is it? Right? The fear of getting hurt again, the fear of being disappointed again. What is the memory that comes up immediately? And I would actually go one step further if you were working with me to tap into where in your body you're feeling this. Because I feel that in the spiritual realm, in this industry, we talk a lot about, like journaling and mindset and stuff like that. What I found to be really powerful is that we integrate the mind and the body and the spirit. 3 things. Because we were given these faculties, they are meant to work together. They're not meant to be separate. Everything is meant to work together. And so when you learn to enhance the power of these 3 things, you actually don't just get hung up on the mental story of what that memory was, because that will keep you in the victimhood state. So you'll be churning and churning like butter in that victimhood story, that mentality, and you find yourself in that linear space of healing where it takes time to heal. But if you're working on the energetic level, it doesn't need to take time to heal, because the moment you hit the right vibration, everything happens in quantum speed. That's how energy healing works, right? And this is why I do the work I do. I want to take that one step further. More than just energy healing, I want that to be 3 things together. Mind, body, spirit, all together. Hello, beautiful. And when you do, what you're harnessing here is not just the memories of when I was hurt, when I was disappointed, and now it's not giving me the courage to go out and do what I need to do. You're actually working with the feelings in your body. So it's not just here. It's here. It's right here. It's right here. It's right here. You can still feel it. If I asked you to bring up the memory right now, you can absolutely feel the pain. You can still feel the disappointment. You can still feel the hurt because you haven't transmuted it. It's still there. That is how we begin to kind of radically shift your energy, because we want to work at the raw site, the rawest of raw of who you are, which is energy. That's when things shift very, very quickly. And on top of that, and I was having this beautiful conversation today actually with a beautiful woman, and we were talking about like how everything seems so spiritual, but actually spiritual to me is also embodiment. It's not just about awakening to a higher state of consciousness. It's about how can I embody that so that I am the presence. I am the presence. I presence my stillness when I'm just here. I presence my power through my voice. I presence myself through energy. How do I do that? Every woman wants to be this magical goddess. But how can I be that just in presence? I don't need to tell you that I'm a goddess. I already emanate that energy. How do you do that, right? So that is what I'm so devoted to, I'm so committed and passionate about, because as a woman, we are born to be abundance. We are born to be love. All of us are born to be love. But womanhood is truly, it's at one with abundance. We're meant to be sharing. We love sharing. We love receiving gifts. We love being loved. We love to be romanced. That's who we are, and we need to start to say yes to that. Give ourselves that, right? I was speaking to my client about this. Like, if we can walk in our presence with the gratitude of what we already have, side by side with our desires, things that haven't actually come through yet, but you can already feel it because you desire it, and you're like, yes, yes, oh, your pleasure is coming from that desire. We are going to be so fucking powerful, because that is the energy of a goddess. We know we already have what we have, and we also know we absolutely have the permission to desire, because the energy of desire is calling in all these things in a unified field that already exists for you. The reason you can desire that, the reason you can dream that, is because you already see it in the liminal space. You already saw it, you already felt it. You just have to become a vibrational alignment, an energetic match with it here. And to become the energetic match, you gotta clear your subconscious dissonance shit out of the door. That's why working with energy is so potent, so quickly. You can just, you don't have to attach mental stories. You don't have to go like, when I was 1 year old, this happened, and so no. We're going to go into the body. We're going to go through your breath. We're going to go through that. And then we're going to train your mind to find and follow you as the eternal soul. That is when your mind has attention and full intention to be a cosmic being. That's when you're freaking powerful. That's when miracles like happening, and you're like, I don't know how that happened, but that did. I don't know how I manifested that, but it did. That's how it comes to being. This is how powerful you are. And I speak from experience. I see women doing this day in, day out. And I am not gonna lie to you. I've been in shitty holes where I had no idea. And this is part of the game. This is part of the process. You've got to go to the depth, the darkest depth of your soul, in order to unveil that cosmic magnificence. It's just not going to kill you the way your mind thinks it will. Trust me. If you don't feel, that's what's gonna kill you. That's what I always say. It's like we try to avoid all these things to play safe, and at the end of the day, this is one thing they always say, right? When you're dead, you're free. I don't believe that. I think we can be free right now, but we've got to do the work. We've got to choose to lead ourselves into that magic. We've got to lead ourselves into the darkest depths. And one of the things that truly gave me the inspiration and inspired me, and even in days when I don't hear anything, when I feel like nobody is responding or resonating with me, it still keeps me going, is that I want to create a lush and transformative space where you are walked through ceremony in those dark depths, so that you don't feel like you're alone, because you're not alone. But the ceremony connects you with something beyond yourself. And that's when we become truly empowered, because now we know we are being supported by so much more. So I hope this inspired you. I hope that you truly allow yourself to keep going after your dreams, to keep doing what you need to do, even though it scares the shit out of you. What if I get disappointed again? What if I get hurt again? I want you to take a deep breath into your belly, and then really exhale. And really allow yourself to be embraced by the cosmic being that you truly are. Your highest self is you. You're not separate from that. Your dreams and desires are here because it is yours. So go forth, do the work you need to do. And as always, if you need the support, I'm here for you. Drop into my inbox. Let's have a chat. And as always, so much blessings. So much blessings. I love you all. Come into your vortex of stillness. It's yours. Sending so much love.